Hi guys, welcome back to Alamat, where we translate and narrate Philippine myths, urban legends, and horror stories to share with the world. Our tale for this week is about the strange experiences that the author went through during school break. This tale is called The Village Dreads When Fireflies Appear by Potato Cat Pie. Oh, thank God, school's over. This was my reaction when I completed my junior high studies. I was pretty tired from chasing all of those requirements and schoolwork within a short deadline. Since we won't have any classes anymore, I opened my phone and tried to check some of the nearby vacation spots where I can at least release my stress too. The first thing I saw was a beach that was 20 kilometers away. This was wonderful since the city I live in is basically surrounded by water that has been contaminated by chemicals from seaside factories, tainted with itchy algae, loaded with garbage, or a combination of those. Basically, these nearer waters aren't suitable for swimming in. I told my parents about it, but they declined, saying that we can just buy an inflatable pool and that would be the same. Now, we are not poor nor rich, but my parents do have pretty busy jobs. So I thought that may be the underlying reason. The next thing I saw was a mountain with this insanely majestic view of the city from atop. However, it was 70 kilometers away, which I felt like it would be a hassle to go there. Hiking, then going back home, considering the time frame. Although I could actually see myself deciding to go there, but maybe a few more years from now. I tried to scroll some more when suddenly someone chatted me. Hey, what's up? It was my cousin who lives in a faraway place from here. Hey kuya, kuya, which is a word used to refer to an older male in the Philippines. I'm good. How about you? I replied. Yeah, we're great. Your other cousins are here. We can't wait to see you. Hahaha, I know. Wait, what do you mean by that? I said. Oh, uncle didn't tell you? He questioned, referring to my dad. He said that on Monday you'll be here. I checked the date on my phone, and it was Friday. He didn't tell me that. Anyways, I gotta go. I'll ask him. Bye. Okay. Bye, cuz. See ya. He replied. I closed my phone and sprinted to my dad's room. I asked him about it and he confirmed. I was happy because I could get to see my cousins and I remembered that just a few kilometers from their house is a resort with different kinds of pools. I was excited to dive into those and beat the heat of the tropical summer. I thought that this would be a fun vacation. On Monday morning, I woke up pretty early to do some chores, checked my bags, ate breakfast, and left our house with my family. We rode the bus pretty early too, so we were able to sit on our preference. 10 hours later, we arrived at my cousin's place, which was in a village in the foot of a mountain. The village isn't exactly the type where the roofs are made of sticks and leaves. It was a pretty modern looking village, with each of the houses decorated with beautiful stone bricks. Just when I was about to put out my phone to take some pictures, I heard someone calling us out from a distance. Hey, over here! I looked at the direction of where it was coming from, and it was my cousin. He waved his right hand high up in the air and was also carrying a plastic bag in his left hand. He ran towards us and greeted my parents. He turned to me and patted my shoulder. How are ya? He asked. I'm fine, just a bit tired from the trip. You definitely look taller than the last time I saw you. Was it like 3 years ago? Mm-hmm. Dad made me play basketball. I guess that's the cause. Well, good for you, I replied. After that, my cousin brought us to their house. Their house was a pretty white marbled one, those typical mansion types, but just a few times smaller, although it still has enough space inside. We entered their house and greeted my aunts, uncles, and a few more cousins, in which some of them I didn't remember much. I was just sitting on their couch when my cousin somehow noticed my drowsiness. He went to his mom and I overheard him asking her, "Ma, handa na po ba yung kwarto nila? Inaantok na kasi siya eh." Which translates to, "Ma, is their room ready? I feel like he's drowsy." Oo, sige. Tulungan mo sila sa pagdala ng gamit nila sa kwarto. Yes. Okay. Help them carry their things to their rooms. My cousin told my parents that he is going to bring our baggage in our designated rooms and asked me if I could help him. I agreed because I just wanted to rest so bad. He led the way upstairs and to the room. It was a room with pastel blue walls, marbled tiles, and a white ceiling. The wall opposite to where the door is a window. Above that is the AC unit, which was already on. At the side was a TV on a stand with some succulent plants below it. "It sure is cozy in here," I said. "Oh, how could I miss this? A bed." I dropped my belongings and jumped onto the bed, lined with warm, woolly blankets. I just scrambled on the bed while my cousin picked up the fallen baggage I brought. "Well, I guess I could leave you here right now so that you can sleep." "Yeah, cuz. Thank you," I answered. He also said something, but my sleepy senses did not manage to register what he said. I don't exactly remember the moment I slept, but I just woke up from my cousin calling out my name from the door. I squinted my eyes from the bright light bulb outside the room. "Yo, we're gonna have dinner downstairs. Everyone is already gathering. You've been sleeping like 5 hours already." I rubbed my eyes and left the bed. We went downstairs and proceeded to eat dinner. It was a heavy meal, which was somewhat a tradition for our family when other family members visit the house. There was a tray of fried chicken, spaghetti, macaroni, sisig, and the most important meal for many people, a whole lechon, which is essentially a whole pig baked over an open fire. My plate was half empty when I noticed that my grandmother isn't present. It also just registered to me that I haven't seen her earlier nor even heard her presence being mentioned. I asked my mom as to where she is. She first chewed her food fully before answering me. Your Lola? Your uncle took her to another place." "Why? Can't she just be here?" I asked. On weekdays, everyone except her is out of the house. We obviously don't want her to be alone, just in case something happens, so we thought putting her in a better place would be a better idea." "Do you want to visit her next time?" Sure," I said. We continued eating, but something inside tells me that something is going on. Her answer seemed to be vague and rehearsed. I looked to my cousin, but he just kept on eating, probably not paying attention to the conversation. I finished my plate eventually and went upstairs with my cousin to talk about things. As soon as I entered the door, my cousin turned to the door and shut it. He also told me in a bold voice to reach for the window that opens outward and close it tightly, while he also turned off the light bulb, so basically, we are in a dark room lit by his phone's flashlight. "Hey, what the hell are you doing?" He grabbed my hand and led me to the bed. "I'm not sure if I'm even allowed to say this, but for your safety, I'll just say it," he said in a precautious tone. "Spit it out," I replied. "You know that the village normally gets dark at this time, right?" "Yeah, although it seems to be much darker than I remember. Why'd you ask?" Hmm, the thing is, it's not supposed to be this dark. At this time, something happens in this village. What exactly? To put it simply, someone will die. And before you ask, no, we don't know who will. What the fuck? Seriously? Stop joking. This isn't funny, I said. I wish. I'm not joking. I know I tend to make jokes all the time, but I'm serious now. There's no reason for me to make a joke about this. My heart started to race. I just wanted to enjoy my summer vacation, and of all things that could happen, this would be it. I don't want to die at a time like this, I said. Oh, right. Since you are a visitor born outside of the village, you're actually safe. However, your mom and dad and everyone else, including me, aren't, he added. That doesn't make me feel any better, I retorted. Okay, I have a good grasp of what would happen, but there should be an indication or a warning aside from the unusual darkness, right? Before my cousin can answer, we noticed that the room became a bit brighter. We looked at the window and saw fireflies. A lot of them. Those, he whispered. Let's run to the bathroom, now. Before I could make sense of what he said, he grabbed my wrist again and dashed through the now dark house towards the bathroom. What? I don't get it. What's happening? We heard the sound of glass being smashed. I don't need him to tell me that it was from my room. It was already obvious. We eventually reached the bathroom and locked the doors and closed the lights. Those fireflies, we aren't fully sure what their purposes are, aside from the fact that they always appear out of nowhere every time it gets too dark. My mom said that it lights up the path for death. And apparently, the house where the fireflies flock means that someone in the same house is going to die. He told me in a frightening manner. But I don't think that the fireflies flocked earlier at the window, I wondered. Yeah, but it probably did moments after we left your room. Look, you should feel blessed that you are actually safe from this. Between the two of us, I'm nearer to death's door. Joke unintended. Thinking about it, what actually happened to Grandma? That thought sparked in my mind. Like what your mom said, she's in another place. She won't be affected by this anymore. We actually have a ritual that will allow one villager here to be safe from the predicament. However, it only works once every few years. That's how your parents, who both lived here before, were able to be free. Also to Grandma and Grandpa. But Grandpa, unfortunately, was a victim of the fireflies. At least, that's what we refer to those who died. I felt relieved, but knowing that someone could potentially die right now still overpowered that feeling. Me and my cousin just sat in their bathtub and proceeded to sleep. He didn't mention anything else, but I think I also wouldn't want to know too much about the situation we're in right now. I trust my cousin so much, which I felt was unfair because he was the one who is in danger right now, not me. Me and my cousin woke up from the bright sunray from the bathroom window, which I didn't notice last night. I just felt thankful that my cousin was still alive. I stood up from the tub and opened the door. There was no one in the hallway. I peeked to my left and my right and I signaled my cousin that the hallway was clear. We went towards the end where it leads to outside and voila. There were my parents who immediately ran for me and my aunt and uncle who ran towards my cousin. Anak ko, salamat sa Diyos at buhay ka. Akala namin umalis ka sa bahay na to. My son, thank God that you're alive. We thought that you left the house, is the translation. My mom told me, with dad behind her feeling relieved. Yeah, I'm fine, thanks to Kuya, I answered. My parents then went to my cousin, whose parents also had the same reaction as mine, albeit much more. I was about to ask my parents if no one was hurt when a piercing scream filled the air. No! Why would it be you? It was from a woman in her 20s, crying hysterically to a dead man just outside of their home, which I can presume to be her husband as I've caught a glimpse of them kissing in front of their house as we arrived. The man's family also cried, though the woman's cry was still louder. I stepped a bit closer and was shocked to what I've seen, which almost made me puke. I won't mention the specific details, but I will tell the general post-mortem structure of his body. His neck was snapped so bad like Snickers that his head was actually behind him already. It's kind of weird that it didn't cut off. Next, his hands and feet looked extremely shriveled and black, as if his hands were extracted of all of the fluids inside. And lastly, a detail which still haunts me today is the face. It wasn't just a dead face. His eyes were still there, but it was all black. Next, his nose was internally broken since the nose bridge was at a 90-degree angle. Lastly, the mouth is extended from ear to ear, literally. I could tell it wasn't cut. It just really seemed that his mouth simply lengthened. I'm just grateful that he is just dead, not alive. A few days have passed and it was time for us to leave. I bid my cousin a heartfelt goodbye and told him that we could just chat more often than ever. We then soon left the village by bus. I sat by the window, being amazed by the beautiful scenery of the mountains, which hides a dark secret. I tried to think of how I could help my cousin, knowing that I am safe from their situation. Suddenly, I thought of something. Was I really safe? My cousin told me so, but if I am, why would he even tell me about these things? Or just in case, why would he let me hide together with him? He also implied that there are more rules regarding the incident that I should know. Thinking about it, Mom implicitly said that she's relieved that we didn't go out of the house. But what if we did, instead of running to the bathroom? It would also be a choice to go out of the house, since technically, the fireflies won't flock the outside air. Things just don't add up. Before my mind could think of this puzzling thought, my cousin called me. I picked up the phone and answered it. Hey Kuya, what's up? I'm so sorry, I'm really sorry, he said in a nervous voice. I thought that he was about to cry. Yeah, about what? What happened? I forgot to tell you the most important rule. The rule which led to the death of that guy. Huh? Remember that we woke up later than the others? That guy, he wasn't brought outside after he died. He went outside, then he died. One of the rules that I forgot to tell you was to never walk outside the house if you want to live, nor have contact with the outside, or else you will be part of us. So, uh, I'm part of you now? How? I demanded that answer from him. That's where I blame myself. I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have made you close the window. What do you guys think of this week's story? This one's pretty long, and to be honest, pretty mysterious as well. If you have stories about cryptids or monsters out in the forest or in the mountains, share them down below in the comment section. If you have stories you would want me to narrate, send them over at mralamatph@gmail.com. If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this channel to your friends and family. Salamat guys, and see you in the next one.